Welcome into the Gramlich and McLean podcast, presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and McLean. We are continuing our ACC Prospect Series. These have been awesome. If you've missed any of them so far, go check them out on our YouTube, Apple Podcast, wherever you get our show. We had Kyle McCord. He was excellent from Syracuse. We had Donovan Ezaraku from Boston College, Xavier Restrepo from Miami. And it's time for another Miami guy. Mac, look, I saw Miami had their pro day. We're releasing this Wednesday, so their pro day I think was Monday. And they put out the graphic for pro day, and it was like, everybody. I mean, literally everybody on the team was at pro day. So there's obviously a lot of big-time prospects to talk about with Miami.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And it's fun to see that, right? When a team is that good and they're old and they've got guys going to the next level. And, you know, you get to all celebrate that one last time. And it was fun. And ACC Network was there. Taylor, Eddie, and EJ, they did a great job. It was fun watching them cover that. I know that's a long day. It's a lot of time to fill, and it's kind of quiet. It's kind of weird. But they did a good job there. I do want to address something really quickly, KG. Y'all at home might be looking at me. You're like, what's wrong? What happened?
Like a baby.
Look weird. So here's the deal. I was, as most men with facial hair do, just sitting there, and the guard popped off. KG, it's 11 o'clock at night, and all I hear is, I just am like staring in the mirror, and it's just like, it looks so bad, and it got cut off. I was like, I don't know what to do. I cannot shave my face. I don't want to just shave my whole face. So it's super tight, super low. I look like I'm 18 years old again. It's great. It's awesome. But I just wanted to address that. And please cook me in the chat or whatever. Or if you've done this, tell me your story. It's not really
Thank
fun,
you for addressing that, Mac.
Yeah, I had to.
People were wondering, what is up? Why do you look 12?
And it's just like, this is not good. This is not good. But one guy that had no problems with his facial hair, Jalen Rivers. He looks fantastic. The braids were braiding. The beard was lined up. The mustache is perfect. He was exceptional. Really fun talking to him. We got a little bit in the weeds. I had a moment, KG, where I was like looking at you. I was like, I really want to talk some more stuff here. I was like, I don't want to bore you to death. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about offensive linemen. We'll keep it fun, keep it light. Jalen Rivers was awesome. So real quick, we're going to get a message from our friends over at Ingles. Grateful for them and everything they do. And then we're going to talk to the big man himself.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Jalen Rivers, my brother, great to see you. I have to give you love, and I have to give you a shout out here because, as expected, an offensive lineman, you show up 6, 7, 8 minutes before you're even supposed to be here. That's just what we do. That's just what you do. I know that's how you were raised, how you were brought up. Great to see you, man. Thanks for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
That's so, hold on, Mac. It says, I just want to make sure it's recording. Okay, mine just said something weird.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Technology. Hey,
Freaked
it's trying
me out
to hold
for a
us
second.
back. It looks good on my end too, KG.
All right, good. All right, let's continue.
Cool.
Okay, Jaylen, Mac brings up kind of the way you were raised. Let's just start here. We're going to get into pro day, combine, all that. Both your parents and your stepfather, Navy veterans, we're talking multiple decades in the service. So can you kind of walk us through how that affected you and how that affected how you're raised and who you are today?
Yeah, so I'm proud to be a Navy brat, number one. But number two, we didn't have to do a lot of moving around. I was born and, partially raised in Virginia before we moved to Jacksonville when I was 5. But just growing up, have my mom go on deployment and being away for like 9, 10 months. Same way with my stepdad, or he's stationed in Tampa. My dad's still in the Navy back in Virginia. So having your parents all scattered around and you're not seeing them for a good minute puts an effect on you a little bit, but it causes you to grow up even quicker. And it's like, I'm balancing that, playing football, school. It was a lot, but I mean, I juggled a lot growing up and just starting at a young age, having to balance everything. And I feel like I'm good with it now because now I can balance everything in my life now. But I'm proud to have veterans as my parents, and they set a great example for all of my siblings and myself. So,
yeah. It's something that is just, it's really amazing. And you bring up mom being deployed or your dad or your stepdad being deployed. I mean, it's kind of scary, for a young kid because you just don't know. And, I'm a little bit older than you. And, we didn't have the same type of technology where, man, we wouldn't hear from my pops for a couple of weeks, and you just praying and knowing that they're okay. But it is a different thing. What kind of thing you talk about being early and things of that nature, but what other things do you think, being a military brat prepared you for or helped you, just like kind of tangible things that you learned along the way?
I don't know, just being ready to face adversity. Growing up, my parents taught me, a lot. I mean, when adversity struck for myself in the classroom, whatever it was, and throughout life, it's just the discipline part, the aspect as well I'm gonna get into. But just adversity, just not to, keep your head down, just keep your head up and just keep pushing forward and just earn everything that you want in life. And the discipline, it's funny because every time I got in trouble, my stepdad would be like, 20 push-ups, 25 push-ups, or we're going to do some type of labor. We're going to clean this garage or something. So a lot of discipline and just focus on everything I'm doing. And, and just the personality part of me just to strive for perfection in general. And I hate failing, but that's a part of, growing too. So I had to learn at a young age and had learned all the responsibilities of, just being young and just doing mistakes or going through mistakes and just fighting through those obstacles. But I credit that also my parents. Really.
KG, I got a little PTSD when he's saying that. Manual labor. I didn't get things taken away. It wasn't in timeout. I wasn't allowed to play a Game Boy or whatever it was. My dad just had to look at me, and I knew get to pushing. That's what time it was.
Yeah, sometimes you didn't even have to say nothing, just that look. Right. Just look at the floor. I'm like, all right, I know what time it is. Or as soon as I did something, I'm like, let me just pop down and do my push-up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And I think, obviously, going into football, that's not the worst thing ever to be doing. Yeah, exactly.
I'm prepared for any punishment or any consequences we have to face, honestly, now. So I think that also prepared me because whenever we did get in trouble or we did how we all know during off-season training, get to the line and you're just like, you don't put up a fuss about it. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, you've seen it all.
I've seen it all.
Already experienced. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing y'all can do that my dad didn't already do to me.
Exactly. So any type of punishment, and also any type of just feedback or coaching, just not to get offensive about it and get defensive about it is for a purpose. They want to see you strive to get better. And when I was young, just getting in trouble, getting yelled at, getting, whatever the case may be, just getting disciplined, not to take, be defensive about it. Just take it as, criticism, strong criticism that you're going to get and feedback to make you feel better or be better as a person and player.
That's a really good mindset, Jaylen, for sure. Okay, talking to you right now and hearing about your background, I have to imagine when you went to the combine and you talked to a bunch of these teams that it went pretty well. I would imagine that they liked hearing this NFL background, all these types of things. So what was the combine experience like? And even more specifically, what were the interviews like with all these teams?
Yeah, so at the Senior Bowl and Combine, it was kind of similar experiences. Because the Senior Bowl, the first time you're meeting about 18 teams, but you're speed dating, you're going to table, and just talking to the scouts. Or one scout the next day might have you draw something on the board. So just being ready to, just be yourself, be you, because that was the biggest thing going into it. You don't know what to expect. It's the unknown that you don't know what you're going into. So just being yourself will get you through everything. So that's what really got me through everything. And then the combine is not you're talking to the scouts, you're talking to the the assistant officer, line coach, or when you go up to your formal visits in the suite, you're talking to the GM, the head coach, the offensive line, offensive coordinator. Everybody's in that room, about 20 people. I want to say, but at the end of the day, just being you, it does get repetitive sometimes, but it's an exciting process, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, I know that's got to be interesting when you walk in a room and it's just 20 people staring right at you. Hey, my name's Jaylen. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? It's one of those things. And, it's a great honor, though, and it's such a great blessing. I know you represented yourself, your family, and Miami so well there. I want to kind of ask you if this came up, because just looking at your frame, you have the perfect offensive line build, right? Like you got long arms, you're big, you're tall, you've got a lot of mass, can move well. that also leads into the versatility piece. And you played a handful of different positions in college as well. Did they kind of ask you, what do you want to play? Did they tell you, we want to see you draw something here at guard or tackle or center, whatever? What was that like from a position standpoint for you in these meetings?
Honestly, I mean, these teams see me. They love my versatility for one. They see me. They like when this past season, if you saw, I was going from every series guard to tackle, and they like that. We show film of that. But when it comes to the board, they're just talking about it. Just talking about, hey, which one you're more comfortable with, which one you like better, and it's hard to pick because I played all the spots really. So, but honestly, I asked them, what do you see me as for? What kind of fit am I on your team or in your scheme? And most times it's guard, sometimes it's tackle. I can play both. It's like, it's crazy because I'm a jack of all trades in their eyes. So when it comes to drawing up, I can tell you all the spots, all of our techniques, all our responsibilities. So when it's drawing, I'm not just saying what the tackle has. I'm talking about, hey, the tackle, guard, the center, even right side, sometimes even the running back's aiming point. What the receivers have. So like, I'm trying to give them the whole picture of that. I'm just not just focusing on one thing. I don't know just my spot. I know everything in our offense.
And that's what the greats do, right? Like, you know the offense. You don't just know left guard, left tackle, whatever. Yeah. You know, and that helps you as to why we do things. And it can also help you cheat a little bit. I just know I got to get to this spot. I know I have to get to this spot at this amount of speed.
Exactly.
I think it's fascinating because it's something that obviously we watch you guys super closely, and I watched the offensive line extremely close. And I was not shocked. It's not like a negative thing, but I did find it very interesting that you would series to series or play to play, not play to play, but series to series or quarter to quarter, you would go back and forth. Was that weird? Because there are differences, with footwork and who you're going against and hand placement from guard to tackle. So how was that for you doing that?
It's kind of funny because when I came back from my injury when I was going to the Louisville game, that's when they asked me. So luckily after that Cal game, a bye week, and then going to the Louisville game, and I came back that bye week. So I had the opportunity to get extra practice, an extra weekend of getting, accommodated to playing both spots in the same game for the rest of the season. So it was tough at first because, like I said, I came in at 2023 year, or not came in, but I started that whole year left tackle. This coming up season, 2024, I was preparing just for the left tackle spot. Of course, you're cross training throughout the rest of the season, but when they got asked me when I came back, and they knew I started my first or 2021 and 2022 season at left guard, they trusted me enough to be able to switch from both, like play to play, like you said, quarter to quarter, game to game, like just every series switching to both. So it was difficult at first, and I'm like, it's two different techniques. I got to get to the guard spot, play it consistently for, sometimes even 10 plays straight in a game, and then going right back to left tackle. So it was tough, but when I got the hang of it, I started getting real comfortable, and I know both spots really well. So it came natural to me. It came like, okay, I'm going to go in at guard, all right, boom, and just back like we never left. It was no drop off, really.
Yeah, I don't think the average college offensive lineman can do that, Jaylen. So that's really impressive. And it was a big part of why you guys were so good. Number one offense in the country by so many different metrics. What was it like in your last season? By the way, spent all of your years at Miami, which is very unique. And I'm sure the NFL scouts love that. What was it like in your last year to play with Cam Ward, to be a part of this number one offense in the country? I mean, it had to have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a lifetime chance right there. You don't see that very often, playing with a generational, quarterback like we have. So it was great. I'm glad we landed him. And I was so happy blocking for him. Sometimes I'm like, we block for 8 seconds, 10 seconds. I'm like, he can still ain't throw the ball. And it's great. But it's plays like that, that's when he makes the highlight plays. It's just like, you need somebody like that to, when things aren't going right, things ain't going to court, something, we need somebody in the backfield and somebody in the front line like we have to give him that time to make them plays that he makes. So it was great playing with all the guys. It was great to see everybody at Pro Day yesterday as well, and just finishing off, our brotherhood, our time with each other yesterday.
That's awesome, man. And I love the way that you bring that up. 8-10 seconds. You're just like, my God, please throw it away.
The ball.
Throw the ball away. Hold on. Let's go. You
Yeah,
know,
sometimes we're just running because it's like we look back and he's just like, we got to find somebody. Yeah,
please help me. You're just sitting there. But
yeah,
I want you to walk in that too, because people used to ask me that all the time, and I had more of a dual threat guy. I'm not saying Cam's not athletic; he certainly is. I don't know if
yeah,
we're calling him a dual threat. He's like Big Ben. He can extend the play and he's mobile,
yeah.
but I don't know if he's a runner like Lamar, Deshaun, and things of that nature.
Mhm.
Walk me through that, because those 8, 9, 10-second plays, it is hard, and it makes your job good, but also he goes one way, you start holding, or you're going the wrong way. Like, it is difficult. Walk me through your mindset when those plays are happening.
I mean, because we already knew, like, even starting spring, like, we can't have a time clock on our head.
Right.
So, like, when you're blocking, you should be doing everything in your power to get and stay in front of the guy. Sometimes, I mean, I feel like I do a good job not having so many penalties throughout my whole time here, just like knowing when to let go, knowing when, okay, he's got me, just to let go instead of just getting that penalty and play comes back. I'm just like, hey, shoot, he got the ball off. When we game, we got the first down, but I was the one that got the holding call. So you gotta do everything in your power to stay in front of the guy. If he beats you, just do everything, let go, but just do everything in your power to, maintain that effort to stay on that block and make sure like that extra push might push him out to play, and then Cam can step up and. So I felt like all of us had that mindset, and just our mindset was to stay on our block as long as we could, because it was very few plays throughout the whole season where he's getting the ball off quick.
Yeah.
So sometimes he wants to make the reads, and he knows he can do that with the offensive line we had. So as offensive line, we just wanted to block as much as we could until we saw that ball go. So,
Right. And that's a great point too, KG, is he can't just dance around if you've got some,
Right.
bad guys in front of you. I mean, you guys were dogs, and you
yeah.
held up, and you made that happen. So KG, it's 1A, 1B of importance level of who's helping who there.
Well, absolutely. And I can't imagine the pressure too for the O lineman, because Cam makes some crazy play and then you're called for holding and
Yeah.
everybody hates you. Like
Yeah.
that is
Yep. Yep.
that's a pressure packed situation there, Jaylen.
I know, but they don't get it. It's just like it's offensive line. We're trying, but it's like, but they only see the bad stuff anyways.
Right.
Exactly.
I know.
We're trying to change that right now. We're trying to
Yep.
change it right here.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jaylen. Okay, let's talk about just kind of the process as you've been getting ready for the draft. Obviously, you had Senior Bowl, Combine, Pro Day, all these types of things. Are there a few specific things that you've been working on, maybe some feedback you've gotten or whatever, that you've been really focused on in these last few months for your draft prep?
Yeah, so with me, just technique in all aspects of running game, but in the run game, just exploding off the ball, just getting on my defender quick and just using my hands properly with the right technique and not lunging forward, because we have a habit of offensive linemen just trying to be too aggressive, get in the block, and then we might whiff and get arm over, and it's just like, it looks bad. But doing everything to consistently have low pad level to be able to have that leverage to move guys. You're not always going to have the leverage sometimes because you're a big human being, and the defensive tackle might be 6 foot, 6'1", and we're like 6'6" giants, and they already have the leverage already. But being able to have that low pad level, and in the league, their technique is top tier, and you got to be able to have that consistency about you, about being able to move guys consistently with a low pad level. But in the pass game, like you said, Eric, I have long arms, so be able to get on guys quick and guard and tackle. So I have a tendency sometimes that I always use my length and just overthink something instead of just getting out the guy quick and just get out my stance and just use my length as a pure advantage. But I also lost 15 pounds. I didn't even have to since the season. I was 335. Now I weighed in yesterday at 319.
Hey.
But also maintaining my strength. I feel like I'm getting stronger too. So just being able to have that ability to lose weight, and I feel lighter on my feet, just feel quicker. And honestly, since January, just been training, just getting stronger and just doing everything I can to work on my agility, footwork, to be able to just show my athleticism, my footwork, like, hey, I'm getting better. Like, I'm working on things you want me to work on. So that's been a long process, and being able to do that for the Senior Bowl and going to the Senior Bowl and then coming back for the Pro Combine, I feel like every, step this post-season was at 3 weeks before the Senior Bowl, go to Senior Bowl, come back 3 weeks, Combine, 3 weeks, in the total, what is that, 9 weeks and fully to work on all that. So yeah, and then meeting
And then
with
never do it ever again.
you
You
never
do
do
it
it
for
ever again.
weeks and you'll never do it.
Yeah,
It's the craziest time. And,
yeah,
for us in particular as linemen, like it's just, you have to do it, right? Because it's just the way it is, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And you do all these things, but you will literally never do any of these things
No
ever
more
again.
40
And nobody
starts.
will, right? You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like the shuttles and I know it translates. I know it's a big deal, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, let's play football. Let's line up and let's hit people. And what's the difference when, I've got pads on and we're being aggressive? So it is
yeah.
more difficult, I feel like, for us in this, like you said, 9 weeks, and it'll be a handful of months by the time you get back to being able to wear pads at minicamp. But it's a weird thing, man. But I like what you're doing. You're running, you're staying athletic. At the end of the day, it sounds like you are positioning yourself perfectly to be, this mold of clay, and whoever drafts me, whoever takes me, make me whatever you want. I'll play guard, I'll play center, I'll play tackle. Let's just go to work. And, I think with your, how smart you are as a football player, that's just going to translate really well. Going back to, you're talking about training and the 3 weeks at a time and stuff of that nature. Was that weird because you were at Miami so long, you were with your guys, you're with your coaches and things of that nature, and then you're on your own. And we're pack animals, right? As O linemen, we like our boys and doing our thing, but you were just by yourself. How was that? Where'd you go, and what kind of things were you doing out there?
I mean, lucky for me, like I was still surrounded by a bunch of offensive linemen, a bunch of dudes during the training process. Dudes from, I was the only guy from my school because the other guy, Zach Carpenter, he went to Arizona. I was like, I wanted us to, probably stay together. But it was fun seeing him yesterday. But I was still surrounded by a bunch of offensive linemen from Georgia, Texas, a couple from Boston College, Vanderbilt, UConn. So we all built that brotherhood. Offensive line, we built that brotherhood quick. So it was great doing that with those guys and everybody that we trained with. I still stayed down here in Miami training at Bomberitos, but it is tough, after the bowl game, going back home for a little bit and then going right into training. It's just like, dang, it feels weird. Like I'm officially done with college, just training for the draft. So it was great, but kind of a transitioning process. Like, dang, this is really real life now. And then I get to see I still see my old teammates because we still live in the same apartment complex, and not as often, but every now and then it's like we still keep in contact. We still see each other. I went to their practice last week, and that was a great time to see everybody, all the coaches, players. So, and everybody came out yesterday, so it was great to see everybody. But it is tough going from being in college all 5 years. Now I'm training for the NFL, about to be on an NFL team, and now I'm gonna have to go to a new team, build brotherhood with that next team. But it's crazy thinking about it. It hasn't hit me yet. I feel like it'll hit me when I'm out of Miami. So
That's right. That's right. Or maybe you stay in Miami. Maybe you stay.
Yeah. You never know.
We'll see. You never know. Yeah.
That's right.
It's that real life, Jaylen. It's coming at you. Adulthood coming at you real fast. Okay, well, last one for me, Jaylen, and just whoever picks you, whether it is Miami or someone so way away, wherever it is, what is that team getting when they draft Jalen Rivers?
You're getting a consistent player. Like everybody says, you're getting a dog, a hard worker, but honestly, you are getting a guy that's gonna put their best foot forward. I feel like with me, you don't got to worry too much about me. I'm not gonna be a liability to your program because I've never, in my life, really, especially in high school, never been on a list. Especially in college, never been on a list, and you haven't had to worry about me. Freshman, you have mandatory study hall, and then at one point, they're like, you don't even got to come no more. You just on top of all that. So I feel like you don't have to worry about me. I'm just gonna want to focus on getting better, and I'm not gonna have that no fine or not that many fines at all. And you're just getting somebody that wants to be the best they can every single day, and I want to be in the league for double-digit years. I'm gonna strive, even when I get the accolades I want or get along the way. I don't even care. Like I just want to play football. So you're getting a guy that's just a competitor and is hungry to get better and motivated. And every single day you're gonna get his best, and you're gonna be consistent. I'm gonna be consistent, and you don't have to worry about me because I'm gonna be me and the best version I can be every single day. I'm just
I love that, man.
use the
That's
tools
great.
around me with that to get better.
That's laid out really, really well. Last one for you. Appreciate your time. Grateful for your time. I do want to touch on Coach Mario Cristobal before we let you leave. When you have that guy, and I know Coach Mirabal and all those things, and he's amazing, one of the best, but when you have the head guy who's an offensive lineman, it's a little different, right? His mentality, what he expects, level of detail. Just, give us a minute or two about that and how that was playing for him as your head coach.
I mean, it was great. Like, he came in every day, just like it was just never satisfied. But you want that in the coach, just never satisfied. Like, hey, he's always trying to find something to criticize about you, or it doesn't matter who you are. It can be like, hey, I want you to work on just getting your second foot down faster. Like, man, he's always surrounded by all our offensive linemen and just being the second coach. Really, he's the assistant offensive line coach because it's Coach Mirabal in him, and he just is one of the guys running our drills as well. And he just can't stay away from us. But when you have a coach that is on your butt, no matter who you are, and just coming in every single day wanting the team to get better and just setting that standard for everybody to see, like, oh, he wants us all to get better. It doesn't matter who you are. And I mean, I love that he came in my third year and was my head coach for the last 3 years. So it was great having him. And everybody else that's going to Miami, you're gonna get a great head coach and a lifetime friend and mentor.
He's the best. He truly is. You're the best as well, Jaylen. Great seeing you. Thank you for your time. We're excited to see what's next for you, brother.
I appreciate you guys.
Well, thanks again to Jalen Rivers. What a great interview. Great guy. 5 years at Miami, represented the program so well, obviously was a great player. And now we'll see where he ends up. And Mac, let's talk about just him as a prospect here for a second. I've seen him projected anywhere between the 3rd round to the 7th round. Like, you just don't know. Could be as high as 3rd, just depending on, obviously, when he did those in-person interviews, I'm sure he impressed. So that's really helpful. But Mac, the injuries are a bit of a concern for him. I think that's when you read about his draft profile, he has the prototypical build, prototypical, that's not a word, prototypical build. He can play so many positions on the line, but the injuries may be something that the NFL is looking at.
And that's what I was going to say. That's exactly why you see that wide range, because it's just who's going to take the risk. Because at the end of the day, like, I think he's a great player. I think he has the opportunity to play a long, long time. But you're investing millions of dollars into a product, and there's risk involved. And you heard there's clearly no risk in behavior. There's no risk in want to. There's no risk in loving football. But the injuries are something that he probably spent a lot of time in the medicals at the combine, and people want to know. They're going to want to know, what's going on, what's happening. Are you good? Are you going to be able to play, 3-4 years at a minimum? And so we'll see. We'll see where he ends up. But I think he's an instant guy that is going to make a roster, push for a starting spot early. And then once he gets his footing and they figure out where he wants to be, he'll be a mainstay and, be a really, really quality piece. And I can't wait to see where he ends up. KG, you said it on the front end. I'm going to say it now. These have been so much fun. I love doing these because it is literally, it feels like you and I, just have our sweet little ACC babies and we're handing them off. We're handing them off to the next level. And then, yeah, exactly. And there they go. And they'll be on their way. And it's been such a pleasure to cover all these guys. And for this to be kind of a fun exclamation point to their career with us is truly a blessing and really, really fun. So appreciate y'all tuning in, for watching, for supporting this podcast. Can't do it without you guys. We'll be back next week with some more guys, some Clemson guys on the horizon. Going to be a lot of fun there. So until next time, we'll see y'all.